Hi family, welcome back to our YouTube channel, Safe Space at Home with the Manzinis. We continue with our previous topic, Stronger Than Death. And we are introducing to it the husband to Mama Mthombeni, Fundisi Mthombeni, Mruti Mthombeni. Fundisi, welcome to our channel. Can you introduce yourself properly to our viewers?
Yeah, well, my name is Flex Mthombeni. I come original from Limpopo, but residing in Kempton.
Okay, married to this beautiful mother over here.
Now we're married 26 years now.
Yeah.
With 2 boys.
Wow, wonderful. Yes. 26, we are going there also. By the grace of God. So we had Mama's story.
Yes.
Of the challenges that she encountered and how she overcame death more than 3 times, you know, and health challenges. So we want to hear from you as a couple, that how did it affect your family setup, your marriage, your lifestyle? Like, how was that journey for you?
Yeah, when you speak about the journey and how it affected, obviously the situation hasn't been nice. I think maybe my story could be even longer than my story, because when this thing started, it was soon after we got married.
Yeah.
I think we were hardly 2 weeks now.
Really? Okay.
Yes. If I can relate to you what happened on that particular day, she will remember and she will confirm it. You know, coming from our rural villages, in the rural villages, you know, you have got a house there and house there and house there. I've got 2 brothers. At that time, both brothers were there, their wives. Me being the youngest, with my youngest, the Maboke in the family. She was busy preparing the meal on the day. So she was moving from our bedroom to the kitchen, because there was a distance, it was separated. So now I was sitting in front of the kitchen for some reason with a friend. That was a comfortable place we could find at that moment. And I don't know where I just fixed my eyes on her as she came from our bedroom, going towards the kitchen. And my eyes were fixed on her knees for some reason that I don't know. And at that moment, immediately, one of her knees twisted. It's like somebody came and hit it and moved from the where it's located. It's like got dislocated immediately.
Wow.
And I stood up before she could fall, because she was going to fall very hard, to grab her and put her down and push the knee back. And then that's when it all started. And I had to pick her up from that point and take her back to our bedroom. And yes, it's the rural areas.
Yeah.
It was after hours. There is no transport. We didn't have cars. We couldn't rush to the hospital or anything. So we had to wait until the following day when we went to the doctor. And the following day it was swollen. She couldn't walk properly. Now it was heavy. And they somehow took it to the x-rays, and they couldn't find anything actually to say this is the situation
that caused it.
But that many things followed thereafter. Unfortunately, I was working in the Eastern Cape. After a while, I had to go back to the Eastern Cape and living here alone.
So, Mama Pila, you cannot say we had the honeymoon phase. People will say that the first 5 years of marriage, you are just cruising, you are just. So for you, that is not the case. No. It was F1 after F1.
The book that we're speaking about, that which I wrote, that part, I concluded that's where it started. And every month, she had to go to the doctor. They had to drain 1 liter of blood from the knee. I came back from the Eastern Cape, I think it was 1996 December. Then we bought ourselves a flat in Kempton Park. She still remained in Zan because she was working there at the time. And later on, 1997, October 97, she resigned from Edgar's in Zanin to join me in Kempton Park.
Okay.
But surprisingly, the knee issue stopped until today, as we speak now.
Okay, all right. There no more draining out of the blood since you moved out. Hey, okay, then you moved to Kempton Park, the knee issue stopped, but then something else started.
Something else started. What that which started was, now when we go to the doctors, I'm not sure if she did relate with you, the doctor said she's smoking.
No.
The doctor said she must stop smoking.
Yeah.
Because she's smoking.
Yeah.
And I asked, guys,
I stay with this woman.
we before we got married, me and her have known each other from our childhood.
Yeah.
From our Sunday school days.
Yes.
We went to the same high school.
She never
we changed
smoked.
that high school to another high school. We went there together.
Yeah.
And she never smoked. What do you mean? I think at that moment I even developed a resentment toward the doctors, especially when they tell me my wife is smoking.
Yeah.
Because there was not one doctor.
Yeah.
And we couldn't figure that out. And then they now tell me that there's an issue of Goma GT. I've never heard the name before, and I've never heard another person speaking about a thing called a Goma GT.
What is that, Muruti?
They told me something to do with the bones.
Okay.
In the person, your bones, I don't know, inside the bones, they say there's Goma GT. I don't know what is that. Maybe the doctor, another doctor that knows it can explain it.
Yes.
But it had to do with the bones.
Okay.
Because now the issue of the smoking part, when they say smoking a lot, they say it has affected their lungs.
Okay.
Their lungs somehow are finished.
Yeah.
And there's not much we can do. Yes. So, but then that issue of the smoke also just died out. The Goma GT, I think maybe it will die. It has died a natural death.
Yeah.
Because now the doctors never spoke about it.
Yeah.
When that stopped,
Yeah.
of the issue of the Goma GT and air smoking, then the pain started. That which was not known where it coming from.
I think I'm interested in this part. When the doctor mama said that you must stop smoking, like, what did you say?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm not smoking.
And Muruti, did it ever occur in your mind that maybe Go Koneng, she's smoking or what?
If I can tell you that, of course, the doctors were insisting that in the coconut was, but they, because of our faith,
yes, and
our
the
history,
trust.
the trust, the faith, how we grew up together, and I knew that this doctor is talking nonsense.
Yeah, yes.
I never doubted the fact that my wife doesn't smoke. Yes, I knew that my wife doesn't smoke.
Yes.
Yes.
When a relationship is built upon the rock, then there will be no questions that will have to be answered. And a parents meeting, but what's her name? What have you built upon? And then Muruti, you pass that stage. Now there's a kidney issue, and it happened
before they even diagnosed the kidney issue. Now my wife is in constant pain, and when that pain starts, I don't know how to describe that.
Yes.
And that it will be pains, and I didn't know what to do. Fortunately, there was a hospital not far from us.
Yes.
And I could either maybe hold her and run to the doctor, or at some point I would have state vehicle, because at our house we didn't have a car.
Yes.
We bought our first car in 1998. So for that period, until 2001, she will have a pain that we didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Until this Nigerian doctor who said, no, it's a kidney.
Yeah, yes.
One of her kidneys is malfunctioning. He said, I won't say it's kidney stones, but I can, at the moment, I can only speak about this malfunctioning. And the unfortunate part for us, the casual doctors in Advert Hospital, when you go today, you'll find him. Tomorrow, you find a different doctor. At one point, when this pain started, then I find now a female white doctor. And I said to the doctor, man, the doctor that we found previously said it's a kidney. And that doctor said, no, it's not a kidney. This has got nothing to do with kidney. And I argued with that doctor. Coming from the days now, the experience that which I had dealing with the issue of the Goma GT and the smoking.
Yes.
Now when the doctors, this one refuses, that one, that doctor, because I had the report. I said, here's the report, that doctor that which you wrote.
Yes.
Look here, the doctors, so please check this issue. And the doctor said, I've checked it, that's not it. The doctor ended up running away from the casualty. I stayed there, said, no, you're not telling me to do proper tests. And now I became very aggressive and arrogant towards doctors, because I couldn't understand what would they speak differently.
Different language.
But then, again, another doctor on another occasion referred her to one of the doctors. Unfortunately, the time she was pregnant with her last-born son. And the doctor said, no, because now she's pregnant, there's nothing we can do. We can't remove it.
Yes.
She'll have to wait until after the pregnancy. Then I said, no, he confirmed it to be kidney. And he said, according to him, the kidney is dead. So, but we'll just have to work it out around it. So the pregnancy was very difficult. Towards the end of 2001 and the beginning, in the early days of 2002, because she delivered on the 3rd of April 2002. And after that treatment, then doctor said, no, it's time to remove
the kidney. And how was that process? Because now Mama had she has just given birth to the last born. How was that process? With her being in hospital, you are a man, the baby.
That was one of the most difficult times for her. Because now she's weak. She's losing her. She can't walk. She can't do for herself. She's discharged in terms of the baby issues. She's at home. Now we're going to treatment of the kidney.
Yeah.
She's very weak. The situation is difficult for me. Well, of course, we had a little sister in the house.
Yes.
Who will assist in terms of the cooking part here and there. And that I did the cooking later on when the little sister got married. Yes. At that time, I was not doing the cooking, but at least will assist with other issues. But taking care of her, because at that time, I didn't expect the little sister to wash her, or wash her myself, or put water and pick her up into the bath and take her out and dress her, whether we're going to the doctor or she just want to be clean. She couldn't walk. And when we go to the hospital at the treatment, then they will admit her. 2002 she was in and out of hospital.
Yeah.
We will come from hospital today, maybe arriving home at 7 in the evening. 5 o'clock in the morning we're back to hospital.
We are back to the hospital.
Because we couldn't sleep.
And then from there, after the kidney, Mama also had to remove the bladder. Had another operation.
Before that part, because the kidney, what happened, I wanted to say this before I come to that point, that now I have a challenge, because now it was at the time when many people died of HIV. And people came to visit us to check her. She's losing hair. She doesn't look good at all. She's very skinny. Now people said, no, this is not kidney. We know people that have got kidney. This is HIV. And what do you say? I couldn't argue.
And Mama, all these talks, how were they affecting you in any way when people started saying?
We knew she's not HIV positive. It was people that were making, and what was worse, it was family. It was not friends or outside people. It's family that will say this is HIV positive. And now she's kidney.
Like, for you, did it matter what they were saying or what? You were just like, how?
Even to me, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. The two of us didn't matter that they can conclude what they have.
Yes.
You can never stop people from talking.
Yes.
So we didn't allow that
to
disturb the issue that, of course, we're going through.
Because you guys know that we are going through this one.
We know that, of course, we're in this situation. And we together in the situation. That I think that's one other thing that makes us strong. But in terms of the operation, we didn't go through it at that time. Because for some reason, something said, go and look for a second opinion. We were in Avon. And then I went to this hospital called Custom to ask if do they have a kidney doctor. And unfortunately, I found a kidney doctor. The doctor said, how old is she? And I told him, and I said, please come with her, because I went alone because I was still going to search. I was afraid to inconvenience her because she was weak. I couldn't drive around and searching for a kidney doctor. And then the guy went and said, no, she's still young. We mustn't remove the kidney. We'll treat the kidney. The doctor was very good, and it went better. But the stages that I have, I won't come up to the issues of the. I believe I'm happy that, of course, you've treated the issue of the angels of death that will come.
Yes.
2006 was another difficult year. Then past that 2010 was another difficult year. But then she became better. Came December 2011 January. I had this old man in my house, my cousin. He was in his old age. He stayed in my house, and then he had a special gift, spiritual gift that which I only understood later on. And I won't say the other things that you just said that not to offend people that are involved. Let me just speak about what he said about me. Because he spoke to me about somebody, and I said, this one, we won't have Christmas with him, will be dead. But let's leave it out. And he says to me, he called me Kasi or Gogo, because my father is his uncle.
Okay.
So then he respected me like he respected my father, and then he would call me uncle. And I said, uncle, I want to tell you that your wife, after 6 years from today, she might die. I said, what do you mean? I said, 6 years, mark my words. We have to pray very hard. If God have mercy, she will have difficult life. 6 years from today. I couldn't tell her that. I prayed. I couldn't allow it. I had a difficult 6 years. Should be in and out of hospital. The only year that my wife was never admitted in the hospital since we got married is 2018. And I'll tell you the reasons why she was not admitted in hospital. So she'll be in and out of hospital some years, maybe 4 times, 5 times, 10 times. It will depend how's the situation
at the time.
And you must understand this affects you as a husband.
Yes.
And at some point, the little sister now is married. I'm in the house. I must cook.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I grew up at some point alone. I could cook. So cooking was never an issue. The only thing, the cleaning, no matter how hard I clean, it doesn't become clean.
Yeah.
So I hated cleaning anyway because but I will try at least just to remove but but not making spotless clean. So now 2016. Now I remember. Every year I'll go home for Christmas. I'll leave her behind. She would either join later or she, because of her work. She was working. I think she did indicate or she worked for AXA Airports Company South Africa. She will either join us for the new year.
Yes.
And then we'll come back together. So 2016, I remember so that time was coming. This year. I didn't go home that December 2016. I stayed and she was not well. I planned a holiday in Mpumalanga. January. We spent there 3 nights. On the second night, now I'm remembering what I know that I haven't shared with her. But from Mpumalanga, we were in that side of Mukoshu as a viewer. Then we drove straight to Maboke because I want to say that old man. But old man, that 6 years is ending now. What is the situation? I've prayed, I've fasted, and the old man said, yeah, you prayed, God has heard you pray. But she will still have a difficult time. She won't die. But this will be the toughest year. I didn't understand what I was saying. We left and came to Gauteng. Our son, the youngest, he was the one that gave birth to in 2002. He wanted to go to boarding school. He was starting high school. He wanted to go to boarding school. We found a boarding school in Settlers. I drove there that January every day to deal with the registration. On the last day where they were starting classes, I couldn't because of work commitments. I had to be in the office. Now I asked her and my firstborn son because our firstborn could drive, he had a driver's license at the time, that he must drive now. And the little one, they take him to school and making sure that he is fine because he needed to go. Then I kept speaking to them, but for some reason my wife was in pain, and she pretended to be fine, but I couldn't. She's not well. The next thing, when I spoke to her, when they said, "Hey, I'm at home, the situation is not all right. I'm in pain. I went to the doctor. I'm in the house. I'm not off early. I ran home." When I arrived, what is the situation? Not long after I arrived, I said, "Hey, let's go to the doctor." Arrived home, I said, "No, let me take it to the hospital. Let's go to the nearest one because now customer is far."
It's far, yes.
We went to, on our way to Harvey, the doctor phoned, the one that treated her earlier.
Yes,
I said, "Hey, I've detected something very dangerous."
yeah.
I ran immediately to the hospital. And already at that time we were on our way to hospital. Then I did indicate to the doctor that we were on our way to the hospital. And arriving in hospital, yes, they admitted him. And they said, "No, something is wrong." The kidney issue and some other things, and now the pains are different. She knew the pain. She came to the point where when she's in pain, she will tell you, "Now, this is
Which one
water,
is it?
this is kidney, this is what." And I asked, "How do you know?" She said, "No, I know it, I can feel it." So now this pain is not a kidney, it's a different pain.
Yeah.
And she has been complaining about this pain for quite some time. And each time she will say, "This is not a kidney pain. I don't know. It's like there's something new in my body." And now I'm wondering, "But Mama, how do you know?" I said, "Man, I know. The pain, the kidney pain, she will explain where it is. And this bladder pain where it is." And I said, "Okay." When we arrived in the hospital and did this spoke about the bladder, that which is there is something. They spoke about the cyst and they wanted to get to the operation, and the operation didn't go accordingly because after the operation the body was swollen.
Okay.
She's skinny, she's size 32, 32. The big size that she has ever been is 32. Yes. And now those 32 doesn't fit her anymore. She just became swollen of a sudden.
Yeah.
And at one point then I realized that let me ask them to discharge her, that I take it to customer.
Yes.
Because what happened is I wanted the doctor that was treating her. And I said, "Doctor, my wife's body is sore.
Yeah.
And the way it is, I'm not happy. And she must be discharged and then we must take care." And the doctor said, "Man, I studied the reports. The doctor that did the surgery, the operation, he didn't do what I asked him to do.
Yeah.
So that is why she
The
said,
swelling.
can I ask that we take her back to theatre?" And I said to the doctor, "No ways. She's not going back to theatre. I'm taking her to another hospital." I said, "Are you sure about this?" I said, "Hey, doctor, I can't risk because you're not the one that is doing the operation. At least the doctor and custom off. He's the one that do the procedure himself. In here, I didn't know that you're not doing the procedure. I thought you were the one that
Do the procedure.
So when you refer, you ask another doctor to do the procedure for you, and that for me it's not working."
Yeah.
And the doctor said, "Okay, well, then it's fine, but keep me updated." And then we went to do Castanov. When we arrived in Castanov, the doctor in Castanov, who has been treating her for a while now, immediately said, "Hey, the operation, they did a mess in the operation. That's why her body is swollen. So we must first deal with this thing that makes the body to be so swollen. Then we can do the proper procedure." And then that's what they did. And then her body
Came back to normal.
Came back to normal, and as an indication that they've rectified that which was wrong. And now they must do the procedure. And doing the procedure, they detected the cyst in the bladder. They want to take it for the test. You know where I'm working, I must travel. This time around, I travel to Mohokong.
Mm.
No, not this one nearby. In the border of Botswana and South Africa. You go to Bray, and then from there you travel another 100 kilometers with the ground. So I'm coming from that place going to Bray for our to sleep over, to drive to Morocco the following day. So now that's when the results of the test came back from the cyst. And then she says to me, the doctor says, I've got cancer. I said, okay. We've moved from the knee.
From the kidney.
We've moved from the knee to the Goma GT and the smoking. And now we moved to the kidney. Now we've moved from the kidney. Now we're having cancer. Remember, these things deals with you, suppose.
Yes.
And it works on your emotions. It affects you. It's my wife. We've stood together all the way. And I said, you have to relax my baby. Who will deal with this stuff? And he said, the doctor wants to speak to you. We're speaking over the phone. I'm over 700 kilometers away from you. And these results came. I'm not in my car. If I was using my car,
You would stop and think.
I would have stopped and drove back to Captain, to my wife. But now we're driving in a group. I don't drive state vehicle. The driver, there's a driver that drives a state vehicle. I'm just a passenger. It's a project business. You can't stop it and allow it to complete. And I could only go home after about 3-4 days. And indeed, it went about 3-4 days. Not even 4 or 5 days, I think, because from there, I don't know how many places we went to Northwest. And then finally, I arrived home. I went to see the doctor. And the doctor said, this is the situation. We confirmed with this cancer. And what does it mean? He says, we must remove the kidney. We must remove the bladder. The cancer is spreading. So the whole bladder is affected. We're not sure which part else is affected. We'll check as we operate. But I can tell you the kidney that is dead, the kidney that which is not removed, it's also affected. The womb is affected. Wow. So, but then the pains were getting stronger and stronger. The doctor being Kastenhoff, he doesn't like keeping her in hospital for long. He will treat her and release her, but the pains were getting severe. 2017, I remember the words of that old man when he said, you have it tough. It became so tough. Now there's the issue of the ministry, pastoral coordination. Now this issue, beside, my frustration was big in 2017. I even stopped using our bathroom because Mama had to. She was frequenting the bathroom. She would be in the bathroom for every few minutes. She would be coming back. And in severe pain. I'm sitting there with her. When I need bathroom, I must go to the other bathrooms in the house. And then allowing her that special for
space.
And then if I go to the bathroom, maybe to try to assist, there's nothing I can do. She's in agony. One day, and I found the doctor, said, doctor, but if my wife is alive by tomorrow, I'll be lucky. I don't know what must I do. And you keep, because now it says the operation will be done end of March. And in the beginning, if she's alive by tomorrow, I'll be lucky. Because now the pain was extreme.
Where are the children when this is happening? How are they taking this?
The children in the house. The children are there. They love their mother. Every now and then they come to check Mama. And to the point where the youngest one got traumatized, he couldn't come. He says, I can't see Mom like that. The bigger one will play brave and constantly come and check. He was still at school himself. And he would come, that time he was off school. Constantly in the house, they're checking. I'm there, I'm not going to work. At some point I go to work, my boss will say, where's your wife? I say, she's in bed. He said, no, go bed and take care of your wife. I thank God for that boss. If if my name said to be mentioned, I can even mention him. Was Brigadier Mkhulwane.
Yeah.
I will always take my hat off that man. He supported me in a special way. I had good managers before, but Mkhulwane was the best manager I ever had until today. Now I passed that stage. Now I spoke to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Okay, 5 o'clock, take it to the hospital." I think I did. He said, "Okay, take it immediately to the hospital."
Yeah.
I took him immediately to the hospital. I admitted here. The following day, they said, when the doctor said, "Yes, we need immediate operation."
Yeah.
So
Yes.
on that day, they had to open. And I said, "But it's a big operation." I didn't know what to do. I was frustrated. I was confused. But I was having this one thing. This old man said she would come back.
Yeah.
I was holding on to these words.
That she will make it.
She will make it. And indeed, they operated her. They gave me the report of the operation that we've removed the kidney, we've removed the bladder, we've removed the womb. It's an intensive operation. It will take 2 years to heal. Especially on the womb part, especially where they were cutting off, because let me go to the details. It won't sound nice, or I don't want to say things, but that part is very sensitive to how far they cut and what they did. Let's leave that part out.
Yes, okay. And how did that affect you at home when she came back home, knowing that she's not well, having to nurse her? Here is work, now is the children, is a ministry. You are a pastor of a church. You are not a member, you know. You are not a member, you are a pastor.
You see, it was difficult. Because now we must look after her. I must look after her. I must make sure the children eat. I must make sure she eats. I must nurse her. And going to work at some point and coming back and making sure, of course, she's alright and performing if I'm not at home, because I'm employed. I'm not running my own company.
Yes.
I can't have luxury of staying at home forever. Though I had a good boss, but I couldn't stay at home forever. Otherwise, to raise eyebrows with our members, they would complain that why is this member not coming?
Giving preference.
Giving preference. But I was told my wife is good. And that's not the first time.
Yes.
I had to adjust my life that my wife is not healthy. I had to sacrifice marital privileges for her sake, and not bothering her with anything. Her well-being to me was critical. Not stressing her with things. What I wanted was happiness, and that situation.
And for her to be alive.
When she was in the ICU, after the operation, our youngest son got admitted. One day when I was in hospital, one of my nephews came to phone me and said, "Papa, Mthombeni is not well at all. He's crying, he's in serious pain." I left. I didn't tell her. I spoke, when I was speaking over the phone with him, with Doric, I was sitting with Mom. But I can't tell my mama Mthombeni is in pain.
Yeah.
I just left and I ran home. Arriving home, when I saw him, I knew that it's a hospital case.
Yeah.
And his mom is in casting off. He's in Waterfall Hospital. That's where the operation was done. I can't take him to Arvik, which is near. It will create inconvenience. If they admit him, I must then let them admit him
closer
where Mom is. So I took her to Waterfall Hospital. They admitted him, and they told me that he needs operation right. The following day he was operated to deal with whatever was in the intestine. I don't know what it was. They said that happens to 1 in a million.
Yeah.
So and the doctor said to me, your son is 1 in that million. I said, wow. And then he's in hospital. Now I'm going to hospital and visiting
two people.
My wife
And your son.
My wife doesn't know that her son is in this hospital.
She would have discharged herself. You know how mothers are like.
She's in the ICU.
Yeah.
And if I then say to her that of course he's in here, I know her. The blood pressure will, I don't know whatever will happen.
Yeah.
She won't improve, she won't recover. So after 5 days when he was out of danger, he could stand up. And she was also out of the ICU. They had put her in the normal ward. Only then, I didn't tell her, I brought him. He was not discharged.
Yeah.
She just saw him and she looked at him and said, "Wena, why are you wearing hospital
clothes?"
Yeah. What was he wearing? Was he wearing pajama or was he wearing? Yeah, she asked, "What are you wearing pajamas in hospital like this time?" And he said, "No, I'm in hospital." I said, "Hospital? What are you doing?" And then only then she knew, and then I explained to her.
And how did you take that, Mom? How did you, lying there, then you see your child is also admitted at the same time as you. How did you take that?
Yeah. It was tough.
Yes. Now, he got discharged first because I think she stayed in hospital after the operation for about another 4 weeks. Or 4 or 5 weeks. I can't remember exactly because when she was admitted it was the first week of March.
Okay.
When she was discharged, it was mid-April. Yes. Now I've got 2 patients in the house.
Yeah.
Yes, I must take care of both of them. We don't have a house on. Yes. But somebody came to assist in the house.
Yes.
She played a critical role at the time. I must say, Snoxy, she did a good job at the time. She helped me to recover. Yes. But at some point she had to go back home because she came from Maboke.
Yes.
And then I had to take care of myself.
Yes. But Mama has recovered now. She's here. She's strong. She's beautiful. She's smiling. We're laughing about the thorn in the flesh. How is life now, Muruti? After all these trials of going for removing the kidney, the womb, the bladder, the cancer, how is life now? You know.
That's what I said to you. My story is long because I've carried this story from the very beginning until now.
Yeah.
That was 2019, 2017. Come 2018, when I said she was never admitted in hospital because she refused, literally. Whenever she was in pain, I said, "We'll go to hospital. If I die, let me die." And now she's getting used to this thing of the bladder. At one time when I come from work and he says to me, "Hey, Muna, I was praying and asking God to take me. And God is saying, when are you refusing that I should go? Why are you refusing? I'm no longer a human being. I'm no longer normal. I've become half human. And you want me alive. Why are you like that? I want to go." And I could only sit there and I think I remember holding her like this. I said, "No, don't try." I couldn't say anything. And that was in 2018. When she was making the prayer to say it, and I'm imagining that we just started the ministry and how my life going to be without her next to me. I needed her support. She's very prayerful. She has got a special spiritual gift. She assists me a lot spiritually in the ministry. I was not selfish, and I knew the children needed her. And to me, life was not about sex issue that, of course, now because of the situation and as affecting sexual and all that. No, life is more precious than just sex issues. And
because you have come too far with this woman.
I came too far with this woman, and the children needed her the most.
Yes.
I need her, but the children needed their mother the most. At some point, I didn't have a mother, and I was still very young. And I'm imagining the life without a mother that my children will go through. Yes, I'll be there. When my mom died, my father was long dead, and I'm imagining that life. I said, "Oh no!" And Lord, and said, "Please give me another year or 2. Give me a while. Give me another period with her." Come 2019. 2019 was a good year. Until October. October changed things. October became one of the worst. was now in October. At that time, I won't tell you the whole story, but eventually they decided that of course she needed dialysis.
Yeah, yes.
And that question came again. Look, my blood is being washed. I must go to the hospital, they take out the blood and take it. I'm using the catheter. I can't do what a normal woman must do. I can't take care of my family. I can't take care of you as my husband. I said, but I'm taking care of you.
It's a vow we made together.
In sickness and in health. And I stood there, and I'm still here. It's not like girls are phoning you and insulting you to say, hey, whatever. You're not being disrespected by anybody. We're here. It's not that I'm not sleeping at home. I'm here every day. I'm taking care. I'm making sure you eat and you wash, you bath and all that. Because that's what I was doing. 2019. And then she said, the recovery continued. The issue of in and out of hospital started again. There's COVID came, now I can't go in to look after her, but it's alright. But the doctors have decided that she mustn't carry anything. She, nothing heavy. She mustn't run around. She herself gets tired. Even this morning, I don't know what was happening. She went to the bathroom. I was busy in the bathroom. She was preparing to go to church and she went to the bathroom. She decided to use the other bathroom and she ran because she was wearing pajamas. I think she didn't want the children to say hey.
Yeah.
It's not far. I think that distance, it's in meters, maybe about 20-25 meters that she ran. She got so tired. She was a heavy breathing when I was speaking to her. I won't say she's recovered. She's here. I was just worried that let this day come, that you'll be able to. Because even this morning when I was speaking to her, I was worried that she might fail to come. And how many times have we postponed? I was just concerned about that. And I'm happy that at least she stood until this time. But,
because her story needs to be heard.
Yeah. She can't do anything heavy. The only thing that at least now she's able to do in a very slow pace is to cook. She's not using a stove because she can't cook in the stove because she must stand up. So I had to buy a gas stove and then she sit down to be able to cook because she gets worried when I cook.
I know. I think I can relate as a wife. When Manzini says I'm cooking, I'll say, no, don't worry, I was just about to do that.
Yeah, because now she gets worried. She was working all the days and then in 2017 she had to stop working. And then she gets worried that I'm coming from work to cook for her. And making sure that go to work and you come back and you still cook. Doesn't fit all of and for her sake that she mustn't stress a lot. Allow it. But actually she shouldn't even cook.
Yeah. No, we thank God. Muruti, in closing, today we're having a pastor. If we don't wrap it up, we are going to have a crusade. In closing, what can you say to a couple that is going through challenges, especially health? Because not everyone can stand with you when times are tough. What can you say to that man saying that this woman to me, I don't know, when I married her, she was young, she was fresh, now I have to take her. What can you say to that man who wants to leave his marriage, or the woman who wants to leave her marriage because of health problem? What can you say to them?
You see, maybe I was influenced by the God-fearing spirit in me. Because I took a vow, a covenant with her, that in sickness and in health. And I stood by that. And God is expecting that of me to do. And to a man that is going through the same, if he has got that mentality, she didn't create it for herself. It is not a choice she made. It's an unfortunately she happened to be in that particular condition. And if maybe she decided, I will say, you did it yourself. Why do you want me to stand by you? But nature decided. So I had to stand by her in sickness and in health. And I continue to stand by her until God knows when.
Yes.
Yes. And remember, it's not my life. Paul says,
The life I live.
the life I live is I'm crucified with Christ. It's no longer I that live, but
it's
Christ
Christ.
lives in me. So what I want to do is not that which I want to do. Then what I do it for Christ. And I don't want her to be embarrassed. I can't allow the situation of seeing my wife being embarrassed and being yes, it's easy, I can walk away. And then what about her? And I won't do that.
What about the vow?
What about the vow? What about the fear of the Lord? And my love for the Lord and the fear of the Lord has kept me going and has kept us happy regardless. We continue to maintain our happiness. She's the best friend I have. I come from work and I run home to go and sit with her. We sit. I'm a student. I study. Even if when I have assignments, when I come from home, the first thing I do, I put the assignment aside and I sit with her and we talk. I can give you an hour or two before I continue with my studies.
Okay, thank you so much. I see our cameraman is newly married. He is laughing so much, he's blushing because he is learning all those things, and all of us are just in a process to say, oh wow, God, this is what it's all about. Marriage is a covenant, not a contract. And if you are in a contract, when times are tough, you are going to look for fine prints to say, where is the fine print that let me go off the hook? So remember why you are in that marriage and fear God. Remember the vow that you have made before the Lord and the people to say that I will take you until death do us part. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have learned that stronger than death, it doesn't only applies for an individual, but it is a journey of two people who love each other and support each other. That is how they overcome death. Thanks to the Mthombeni family for sharing their story, a very sensitive story, a very powerful story for that matter, which we want to be published. So please, 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 if you are a publisher and you say, you know what, I want to take them off their comfort zone and publish the book for them, you are more than welcome on my social media handles to leave me a message. Dineo Manzini on Facebook, you can leave me a message there. Instagram, Dineo Manzini, you can also drop me a message. And also there is an email address where you can send the message to. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment on our stories. And see you next time. Thank you.